Divine Connection Marketing is a 500 Fortune company that can always connect you to the right connection. Check them out.
Businesses all across the planet are looking to make connections with people. Well, guess what? Divine Connections magazine is helping businesses not only walk in their purpose and passions, but to get connected to their potential. That's right. You've got to connect to your potential, and you can make it happen now because it is time to know your worth. As you get connected to people all across the planet, Divine Connections magazine will make it happen. And get featured in the magazine today and get your copy now, because there's no other time than a divine time to get connected to Divine Connections magazine.
Great day, everyone. This is Deloris Williams with Divine Connections. Hold tight, and we will go to our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Did you know there's $850 billion available in grants to help your business or nonprofit? Have you applied? Let Imperial Management Group give you a fighting chance in this highly competitive market. IMG specializes in developing award-winning proposals and obtaining grants from government, foundations, and corporations. We can even help you get funding for COVID relief. Could you use $50,000 in free funding? Go to our website and book a consultation right now. We know where the money is.
Well, great day, everyone. Welcome to Divine Connection Show. We are excited to be here on today. Make sure you like and share this broadcast as we continue to go on. We have a lot of great information for you today, and we have some guests as well. So let's get into it. First of all, Divine Connection is a magazine that comes out quarterly in print as well as online. We connect with different businesses, entrepreneurs, gospel artists, praise dance, mimes, vendors, anyone that's doing something great in the community. And when we do that, we give you the opportunity also to advertise your business or your ministry in the magazine, and that runs for 3 months. So if you're interested in being a part of the next issue that will be coming out, you can text 336-338-8903 or email divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com. All right. So that's the first thing. The next thing that we have with Divine Connection are events throughout the year. I host 2 events. One is my anniversary, where we bring in choirs, praise dance, mimes, vendors, and we network and worship together. My current anniversary was my 12th magazine anniversary, where we celebrated women. So we had the women speakers as well, and that was phenomenal. So our next event is October 15th, Saturday, at the Mebane Arts Center, where we have praise dance groups, mimes, vendors, and youth vendors. So if you're in the North Carolina area and you have any part of those 4 different areas, anyone that's connected as a praise dance, mime group, vendor, or a youth vendor, and you would like to be a part, contact me with the information below, and we'll see how you can be a part as well. I'm so excited. Our new issue is here. So it is divineconnectionsmagazine.com/subscription. So if you have not gotten your copy yet, go ahead. We're shipping out this week. to get your order out. So go to divineconnectionsmagazine.com/subscriptions. You can get a digital copy or a hard copy. And then you also have the option of changing the quantity to order even more. So you can share it with your family, your friends, your churches, and your community as well. There are a lot of resources in here, different events that's going on, resources, connections. So you want to get a copy so you can see what's available to you. Also, we do sponsorship. If you would like to be a sponsor on this program is on Wednesdays between the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. And if you have a 30-second spot that you already have a commercial for, we would love for you to be a part, and we can help spread your good news. So our agreement is a 3-month agreement for $150, and we play your commercial either before or after the interview so we can help spread your good news. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, please let us know. Now, if you need a 30-second or a 60-second commercial for your business, we customize those as well. We would love to serve you. So if you are in business or ministry or have a book or a gospel group or an event, and you need a 30-second or a 60-second commercial, please let us know. We would love to customize one for you. Next on our agenda is my book is out. It is called The Key Connector: How to Build an Empire Helping People. And that's what I've been doing with Divine Connections the last 12 years. And with the help of the Lord, of course, and having faith in God and having faith in myself that we can make it happen. And so here are strategies and different things that I've done to accomplish what I have done with the help of the Lord thus far, right? So it's called The Key Connector: How to Build an Empire Helping People. It is on Amazon, and if you go to the link below, that you can also go to that link and order it, and then I can send you a signed copy of the book as well. Next on our agenda is our journals. We also have journals now. Excited about that. Making it happen. You are a divine connection. So for the rest of the year of 2022, we're going to write the vision and make it plain. We have great things in store for us this year, and time is moving swiftly. So we are going to take the opportunity together to make it happen and write down some of our goals and our desires and our plans, what we desire to do. And then at the end of the year, we'll look back and look how far God has brought us and what he has done in our lives to make a significant difference with others as well. So make sure you get your copy of Divine Connections journals as well. And then last but not least, I am excited about my new store opening. It is Divine Connections store. So there you can go and get different items as shirts and hoodies and bags and pillows and socks, all branded with Divine Connections. And we also have Father's Day gifts on there as well. And they're still up there. Best Dad Ever. You want a shirt or hat. We have all of those products on the bookstore, in the bookstore. And if you would like, you would go to Shop All to see all of the items that's on there and then shop from there. So that is another opportunity that we have. Definitely excited about that as well. So I am grateful that God has allowed me to take Divine Connections in many different areas and to connect. And so today I am so excited because we have special guests on the line, some authors, some connections from Miss Weiner. She has a collaboration with 20 or more authors. And so they're here to share their story and what they do. So we're going to bring them in. Miss Donna's in the house. We have, hi, we have Miss Indigo in the house. Great day. How are you? Hi. And then we have also Philip. All right. All right. So if you guys could mute out until I get ready to call on you so we can have background noise, I will greatly appreciate it. Welcome. All right. So wonderful. Let's start with Miss Donna. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell people who you are and what you do?
Well, hello to everyone. What a privilege it is to be on this broadcast. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to have had the opportunity to work with Weiner and her anthologies. It has been something that I've been and that's been in my mind to do, but it's always been something set aside. Wayner is a great encourager. But my name is Donna Flenory. I am originally a country girl from Hope, Arkansas, which I am very proud of, being an Arkansas girl. I came to Washington, D.C. in order to go to school at Howard University, where I got my degree in occupational therapy. Because of some unfortunate life changes, I was only able to practice occupational therapy for a little while, but because of an illness, systemic lupus erythematosus, my life took a major, I used to say left turn, but it was a right turn because God takes everything and he makes it right. Through doing that, I've become extremely involved in advocacy for foster parents in the District of Columbia and Maryland if they have DC children in their homes. I am the chairman of the board for that agency. I also sit on the district's Department of Behavioral Health Planning Council, where we really take a strong look at DC's mental health and what's happening with our people on the street who are trying to get the mental health and others who are trying to get mental health for themselves, for the children and loved ones. I also sit on the Mayor's Advisory Council of Child Abuse and Neglect, where we give advice to the mayor as well as to Child and Family Services Agency on various issues that come up from time to time. So my biggest life journey is the fact that I am a resource parent / foster parent. We're trying to get away from foster parent and call us resource parents. But I have teenage boys that I foster. And I have 3 right now. And my goal is to get them reunified with their families and or to get them ready to be 21 years old when they have to go out on their own. So the first book that we did with Wayne was called Overcomers. And we talked about the things that we overcome and how God helped us. And so She's So Wise. The second one was Seasons, because when you overcome, there are various seasons. You know, we say, oh, this is a season in my life. But what really happens is God goes through seasons with us, and they're his seasons. And so we have to look at what season is God in? What is he doing with me? And so God has taken me through various seasons. And when you recognize that it's his work working, you can kind of say, oh, this is his. You can sit back and you can participate when you can participate. But the worrying about what's going on, you really can give that up, because if it's his season, he's going to work it out. And I get to kind of sit and watch and participate and allow him to move me. And we can't be moved if we're anchored in what we want. So we have to be fluid so that his season can take us where we need to go. And so I was really excited to participate in that portion of the book. And so that's kind of nutshelly who I am, a new puppy mom and 3 teenage boys. And, you know, we're moving forward in life. We're trying to stay fluid.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Awesome. I love the seasons with God. That is phenomenal. We probably can get into a little bit more of that. Awesome.
Sure.
Well, thank you. So let's introduce Miss Indigo. How are you? Oh, there we go.
Hi,
Hey.
Deloris. Hey, well, hello everyone. Thanks so much, Divine Connections, for having us on and everything. Just super happy and feeling blessed to be here. And so as far as like who I am, and can you can hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, cool. As far as who I am, so basically, where to start? My name's Indigo. My government name is Monica Jones. I have no issue with that. But it's just that as far as how I self-identify, I've always felt like I was more spirit than you know, the other stuff. So kind of had so-called maybe a backward experience as far as living life, but just happy to be here as well. So basically, I'm the CEO and founder of Indigo Monarchy. Indigo, like I said, is my, you know, it's my name and everything. And as far as Indigo Monarchy goes, that started out as a consulting company. I am also a Howard graduate, proud Howard HBCU graduate, journalism and a degree in journalism, a minor in psychology. And I've had various, PR, marketing, journalists, like just different marketing jobs and sales jobs and everything. So all of that accumulated to pretty much, after like working maybe a year here, maybe 2 years here, and everything, and getting certain skill sets and everything. Just kind of just came to the conclusion that I might need to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially when you're like the lowest on the totem pole at a job, your salary's here, but everyone has you doing their work,
That
you, you
part.
gotta
Yeah.
you just gotta start like balancing out your value and your worth, and
That's right.
leveraging being able to write your own checks, or at least ask for what you're worth. So my journey involved a lot of that, and I'm originally from upstate New York. I came down to go to DC, but my dad is from DC, so I kind of feel like I'm from both places, but I identify as non-location based. I identify as a global citizen. Out of these things that have come about in my journey, because you want to be able to tell people things about yourself, even as you're finding yourself. So
That's right.
it's kind of like a give and take two-way street. Sometimes you come across a situation you don't realize who you were until you have to stand for it, and now you know what you stand for after that situation. So um, my part in the book kind of speaks to definitely a season of that where I did have to stand for my identity, who I was, in the face
Hmm.
of a lot of controversy and everything coming my way from family, friends, loved ones, and everything. So yeah, I'm a proud mother of two. I have
Okay.
a boy and a girl. I have an 11-year-old and a 3-year-old who is here with me. One Nehemiah, one to Nehemiah, and one to Josiah. Nehemiah, I'm a full-time mom to Nehemiah, and COVID kind of, I did have to adjust, for COVID and everything. So my son is currently with his father and everything. So, but to be fully reunited and having it feel good is always the goal. And then what else? Oh yeah, so I'm also a radio TV podcast host. I branched off from Indigo Monarchy because for my last position, which COVID, I had to leave that because of COVID and everything like that. So my last position, I found my joy and love for putting public programs together, and I with families to wrap around resources, families such as myself, being a single mom for the majority of my motherhood. I just know the value of a good program that's helpful for you to get through the transitional times, especially if you're a worker and, you're used to working, but you hit those hard times or, you miss a paycheck or something happens. And I just know the value of that. So I fell in love with just creating programs for, parents and caregivers, and making sure to keep in mind, like, the child care aspect and everything. And actually, I don't know how much crossover we can do, but I was actually a proud graduate of the parenting program that Miss Donna. Yeah. And I was like, I know we're doing the Brady Bunch right now, but I definitely, and then even to be brought into this project, so just blessings on blessings. So I'm definitely a product of, resources, and that's kind of like where I want to step into for my career, fostering those types of programs from my perspective, and I love old to young, so just like those type of cross generational resources, how creative we can get. So the Apex Radio Show, we focus on creative artists and entrepreneurs, so that's that hybrid. And as a parent, also too, like you tend to be an entrepreneur, but then try to balance parenting and stuff like that. So we definitely take a creative approach to that. And then we have a networking brand. Station was that me? Okay, I can't hear anybody. Can you hear me? Okay, I can. Okay. Okay. So it's Nehemiah right here. So okay, yeah, and to wrap up, I'm not sure. Safe Smoke Social Sessions is a brand of networking, global networking pop-ups. I fostered under Apex Radio Show, and then we have a brand Absolute Destination, which is just a group of destined people, around the world that we just want to create an incubator of like-minded individuals. Definitely not recreating the wheel, but definitely trying to put our own temper to it. So that's into that.
Miss Deloris, we can't hear you.
Oh, I muted myself. My bus. Okay. All right. I was trying to keep down the noise. I forgot to unmute myself. All right. Awesome. All right. Pastor Phillips, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Pastor Rashida Phillips. I just want to apologize. I kind of had some technical difficulties on my but I am so glad to be on this platform. I am a wife and mother of 3, and I am an itinerant minister. I pastor a church here in Charlotte, Kingdom Full Life Ministries. After COVID or during COVID, we were already in transition as we are seeing a shift in the move of God in kingdom. And so we're kind of graduating into technology. Yeah. And so while we're graduating into technology, I kind of tapped in, and the Lord allowed it for me to tap into my longtime dreams of opening up an online boutique. So that was one of the things. So yes, I am a owner of an online boutique, Shea Moore Couture. Mm-hmm. And also I was able to matriculate into doing some other things, such as starting a podcast and starting a blog. So yes, I am. So now that the churches are opening back up, I am back on the itinerant ministry vein, and I'm just looking forward to greater things. So that's all that I'm doing, as if I need something else to do, right? Right. But I can add to this that I am now an author, as I join these beautiful ladies and this anthology. So I'm really excited about that.
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Thank you for doing what you're doing in the community. It's definitely a blessing. So, Miss Donna, we're going to talk about your part in the book. Just give us a little clip of what your story is about. Don't want to tell them everything so they can get it, but just give us a little insight of your part in the collaboration, a little bit of your story.
Okay. Well, I really kind of it was almost like a continuation from the Overcomers book. But in seasons, I really wanted to focus on the fact that I had great plans for what my life was going to be. I knew that I was going to graduate, and then I was going to work in physical disabilities of occupational therapy. And then as I got older, I would graduate to just doing hands. It's a lot less stressful. And then in the twilight zone of my life, I was going to work in psychiatry and do psych OT, because all I would do was sit and maybe, talk, to run some groups. And I had it all kind of planned out. Yeah. And then life said, oh, but we're going to do this. And so I really get into talking about releasing that control of what you wanted, and recognizing that because what you wanted to do didn't pan out, it doesn't make you a failure. Mm-hmm. When we are setting up our plans for what we want to do, if we have not consulted the Father, and then we go in a certain direction and it doesn't work out because his will be done, it just means we need to lean in a different direction, and we need to be fluid. And so when we start listening to the Holy Spirit, when we start taking time to be quiet, before we make a move, when we learn to pray, and let what we need to pray come from heaven down into us, so that we can then pray out of that. Yes. Then when stuff happens, we're going with his flow, and there is, the tides can change and up and down, and it doesn't feel like you're being tossed about because you're in his flow. But when you're trying to be anchored somewhere because this is what I want to do, and that tide is trying to take you somewhere else, it's going to pull you, it's going to bang you around. And so I really just wanted to talk about releasing and letting it go, and not feeling like a failure, and not feeling like, you don't have a purpose in life because what you wanted to do didn't happen. You couldn't have told me that I would be raising other people's children. I watched my grandmother. People came from family from all over the place, and their children would come to our house in Arkansas. She would whip them in shape. If she had to put them in school, she put them in school, whatever she had to do, and then she ship them back to where they belong. And they loved her as they grew up from that. I watched that. I shared my room. We slept on the floor on pallets because it was a bunch of us in the house. You couldn't have told me that I would ever do something with other people's children. But God was back then as a child letting me watch her love with that steel velvet. Love you hard, but be soft. That was preparing me for where he knew I was going to go, regardless of what I was trying to do. It's like, you can go on and get your education in OT because you're going to have some children that's going to need some physical disability help. You can go ahead on and get your degree in OT and work at the big national rehab hospital, and because you're going to have some kids that's going to have some issues with their physical and their emotional, and you're going to need some. So I'm going to let you go ahead and lay that groundwork, but I got something else we're going to do with it. And releasing my seasons so that I can live in his seasons is the message that I wanted people to get, and staying fluid. And I love to talk about my childhood. I had the best childhood ever. We was poor and didn't know it because my grandmother knew how to barter. My grandmother was always baking sweet potato pies. We had a garden. She had chickens. Sometimes you couldn't get anything else in the refrigerator because of the eggs in the refrigerator. But some people come by and say, Miss Isley, they called her Icy. Miss Isley, can you got some eggs? She sold baits. She gave the hog man the apples that fell off the tree to feed the hogs. And in turn, guess what we got? So we didn't know. I really didn't know that it was a little on the poverty side until I went to college. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not doing that. But by that time, I'm steadfast and unmovable in who I am and what I can be, because she never told me no. If there was anything that I wanted to do that was related to church or related to school or good in the community in some kind of way, go ahead and do it. I was a Girl Scout. She was my Girl Scout leader. I was in Sunday school. She was my Sunday school superintendent. Was in the 4-H club, So we did those things. And I was in the band and I was in home economics. And that made me travel all over the place. She never told me I couldn't do anything. So the first time somebody said, oh, you're not going to be able to do that, I was like, what? I can't do something. I was foreign to me because I never heard that. She never told me you can't go all the way to Washington, D.C. You don't know anybody up there. Your family's here in Arkansas. She never said that. She said, well, go on. Let me know when you get there. So I have 2 older sisters, and my older sisters have been, probably don't know it, but they have been my rock. My older sister, we lost our mother when I was 8. I have a sister 4 years older than me and a sister 6 years older than me. And they don't know it, but they were my rock.
Yeah.
I looked up to them. I wanted to be them. I wanted to follow them. And they have been what has made me want to just stay strong. I want to be strong and I want to be good for them. My grandmother said, I asked the Lord to let me stay here until the baby get grown and can take care of herself. Baby been grown and taking care of herself. But my grandmother, I tell you, that was a special woman. She left this earth, me and my sister that lives here in the DMV area. We went home for my birthday and we met with her. She periodically had to go in the hospital because she had fluid on her legs for draining fluid and things of that nature. But she left this earth on my birthday. We were there visiting her, and she was just as peaceful as she could be. And I remember her saying, who is that over there in the corner? We kept saying, Mama, there's nobody over there in that corner. And she was like, right over there in that corner. Yes, it is. Now, mind you, while she was saying that, her eyes were closed. And so I was just like, look at God. And so we loved on her and kissed on her, and she made us laugh. She was a funny person.
Yeah.
We went to the hotel. Before I got in the hotel, I had put on my pajamas and was getting ready to put my knee on the bed. The phone rang. She was gone. The last 15 minutes of my birthday, it was 11:45. And I just said, boy, she's gonna make sure we don't forget her. But she lived so full. She worked so hard, and she praised God to the fullest. That's what she put in me.
Yeah.
And so all of that played a role. I said all that to say it all played a role of making me pliable for God's will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he may have started out making me a bowl, and then he might have been like, and now this bowl will be a plate.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hold on to being a bowl.
That's right.
I can't.
That's
You
right.
gotta go ahead on and be a plate and be in service as a plate. And so that was kind of the message I tried to give as I basically talked about my childhood, because that is my holding place. That is my anchor.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
I love it. I love it. And when you have those individuals in your life, you treasure those moments and that time
Yes.
and that wisdom. I remember some of my aunties and that passed away, but they were some good people and love the Lord. So I definitely
Yes.
know what you're talking about for sure.
Indeed.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
All right, Miss Indigo, share your part of the story, a little bit of what you have in the story.
Yes. So, oh, that was just lovely. I'm over here, and amen and stuff like that. But as like as for me and my part,
Uh-huh.
so basically, it's actually my first writing experience. So this made me a first time published author and everything. So just the experience needs to be written about alone. But
Mm-hmm.
so just everything that led up to even like making it down to the wire. But for my part, I really focused on well, the becoming a first time mom. And when I was pregnant with Josiah, I was in school. I was going to Howard when I met his father and everything. And I met his father on just a random girls trip to New York City. Met this Brooklyn guy and his brother. We were supposed to just kick it for a little bit for the weekend, and that'd be that. But here we are, 11 years later, and I got a son with the bloke and everything. So just I talked about what led up to that, because like my childhood, like I enjoyed my childhood as well, like very similar to Miss Donna. I didn't know we was broke. I found a food stamp book, and I thought that was about the best thing ever to be coming across. Just before it was EBT, it was like it's a book of stamps. Like let me date myself. It was a book of stamps, and you took it down to the corner store, man, and nobody thought the wiser or the better, and you had a nice little time with some snacks and stuff. So I didn't know no different or anything like that. So like very similar. So I got to college and I started.
Uh-oh.
So huh?
Your signal went out a little bit. Keep going. You good now, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I have the earbuds, so if it starts going out, just let me know. I'll just switch from that. But yeah, so I did speak about becoming a first time mom. I was in school and everything, so it was just a lot of layers and I was staying with family, but like family that wasn't really going to school, so we're
Mm-hmm.
like different levels of achievement and where we're trying to go and stuff. So I had a lot of barriers, just surrounding just becoming a full time mom and the pregnancy and then the relationship and everything like that. So I spoke mostly about that, but also just the juxtaposition, like I said, about growing up and how it could be where I was like really reinforced, pretty much from my grandmother as well, as far as like you're smart, you can be anything, you can do research, you work hard, manners will take you all over the world. Again, a lot of that foundational fundamental stuff. Eventually did that stuff that can take you beyond your initial start in life. Like the stuff that can level you up. Somebody will see you. You might start here, but you let yourself stand out and you get picked out the crowd, but God, and everything. So, show yourself approved. Show yourself, like that's my mantra, so that's got me to places and in rooms that maybe my background or my pedigree may not have, gotten me and everything. So definitely I spoke about the juxtaposition. I didn't mention I'm also a inner childhood trauma coach. So I work with, the resiliency energy. I'm an energy coach and everything like that. So I can speak on that from just so many, so many different aspects and arenas and everything like that. Just from healing myself from, traumatic experiences and
Mm.
everything. So I didn't want to mention that. So I do talk about that in my part as well, but also just the juxtaposition between like how do you go from I was pretty much an A and B student, into IB, AP classes, in high school, got all these scholarships. I didn't even apply for the scholarships. I just got scholarships at the end of just like I was just an achiever. Then to go off to college and then you're shacking, within a few years you're shacking up with a guy and living with your cousin and her boyfriend, and all of a sudden, just like all these things that you didn't necessarily plan for. Like, very similar to Miss Donna's. Like, I didn't plan.
Hold on for a second, you guys. Hopefully it'll be back. Okay, there we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll say like, so I just spoke about like, like how life can take these turns, and I didn't necessarily not plan to be in that situation, but from what I was told growing up, oh, you're smart, you're going to school, da da da. But then I get to school and I find that I don't necessarily have a direction of my own, or like those types of decision making, like fundamental things. So yeah, that was my part pretty much, and then just thinking about like resilience and just coming out those situations and letting your standards really just like once you find yourself far from home or far from the shore or far from God, like it really is going to be your foundational, your guiding light that was put into you that brings you back home. Because I knew I might have gone far not knowing better, but I knew better than to stay out there. Like, and it, and life is ebbs and flows.
That's
Again,
right.
like I said, you get to an experience and you realize, whoa, I stand for this. I don't stand for that. So it's a learning. It's definitely a learning curve and everything. And that's just my approach. As a coach, that's just my approach. We've all been through things. We're all
That's
facing
right.
things. Sometimes you just need a person with a higher level of grace and
That's
understanding
right.
just to like help you level up, and don't
Mm-hmm.
make you no better or worse than nobody. But we've
That's
all
right.
been through some stuff.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Awesome. Awesome. You said some powerful things there. I love that. And we learn and we just live every day and we just get better. We have to take our challenges and use the knowledge and wisdom what we have and allow God to be in the forefront, and ask for repentance and forgiveness every day, every day, and move forward. And that's for sure. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. All right, Pastor Phillips, let's share your information and what you have going on in the stories.
I tell you, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but it was very therapeutic.
Mm,
Writing this process was very therapeutic for me. My position in the book, and I come from Ecclesiastes 3, where it says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. And, sometimes you can preach it, but when God requires you to walk it out,
ooh,
a whole different story. And so, again, kind of backtracking in my own personal story, I just really did not understand why I was a late bloomer. I felt like everything was passing me by and everybody was going ahead of me. And I will always say, when is going to be my turn? When is it going to be my turn? And so, just kind of going ahead in life and just allowing things to happen or things happening to me, my experience was my best teacher, I came to find out, and just realizing that the one that I was preaching about was really the author of my story. And so, sometimes we want to author our own story and write out our own script, but he says, I know the plans I have for you.
yes, yes.
Out of evil, and I'm going to bring you to an expected end. And so I oftentimes, as a child, as I was writing that, just saying, when am I going to be able to write my own story? And here I am, fast forward all these years later,
Yeah.
I'm writing my story, but I had to go through some things to write about. And
Mm-hmm.
so just getting to a place, and in the story where I talked a lot about COVID, my experience with COVID, and
Mm-hmm.
how that changed the trajectory of my life, it just birthed out so many things. I thought I was just this, but I saw God expand me because he gave me more time. I was really sick with COVID, and I talked about that in the story. I didn't think I would make it. I didn't think that I would survive, and I really struggled with that. And I said, how did I get here? A woman of faith, a woman of prayer. I
Mm-hmm.
have been in places where, preaching and laying hands on the sick, and I could barely breathe. And when, doctors say, I can't do anything for you, that
Mm-hmm.
go deeper and say, God, I know you have more for me than this.
That's
And
right.
so, again, he gave me that scripture in Ecclesiastes. And I said, what can I write about? He said, again, there is a time to purpose, and you have purpose. And so going back and getting to a place where I can just encourage myself and encourage others, not just with my story, but reminding them that you haven't missed anything. It was a part of the plan all along, but that you do indeed have a purpose. So I kind of really just kind of carve out and really unpack my story, and just to showing and reflecting that, everybody has a story, but there's a purpose to it. And not just to help yourself, but to help others. So I just pray that I encourage others with my story, and just give a word of encouragement that your story may not be mine. Because a lot of times us as women, we look at everybody else and we don't see ourselves and other people. And that's where that cattiness and jealousy and insecurity comes in. And even in ministry, I find that. But I hope that my story will encourage someone to say, listen, there's a treasure in the inside of you. And sometimes we can't preach that. We got to live it.
Yeah. I love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's talk about two things. What was in this project the best benefit you got out of it, and then the challenge that you had to go through with it? Miss Donna, we'll start with you.
I think the benefit out of it was getting away from procrastination. You can't procrastinate. I mean, you can, but it's not wise. And so setting procrastination aside and really trying to get in there and just doing the writing. I had a child speak over my life back when I first got diagnosed with SLE, and said, "You're an author." And I remember saying, "Oh, I receive it. I'm not, but okay." And forgot about it. And so, here years later, some 28 years later, to have the opportunity put in front of me. And I was like, well, I really don't really have anything to say. My life is kind of, like walk a day. And God bless Wayner's heart. She was like, yes, you do. You have a story to tell. And so I she had very methodical, we had deadlines. You got to do this, and you got to have this by then, and you got to check this by then, and so you had to stay on it, because you get behind the 8 ball, then you're going to be scrambling. And so I scrambled a little bit on the first book, but she was always an encourager. Good. And so this time I was a little bit better. I hope she would say I was a lot better, but the procrastination, not procrastinating, recognizing the damage of procrastination and going ahead and doing what you need to do was really good benefit out of it. And writing allowed me to go back, and I feel like I left all kinds of gems and jewels and valuable stuff in my childhood. I brought a lot forward, but going back and writing, there were other gems that I was like, oh yeah. And oh yeah, and that's right, and that's why I'm able to do that, because she showed me that, and just putting things together and putting pieces together as to how because I have a lot of people say, I don't know how you can deal with them children. I don't know how you do that, girl. I don't know. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know either. But in the writing, I saw so much of what I have to do now in her, and so it made me grateful for my childhood. Exactly the way it was. And it just made me proud to be her granddaughter.
Oh.
It made me proud to be my great-grandfather's great-granddaughter, because he lived with us when I was a little girl, my papa. And it just, my childhood, my upbringing was rich in its own way for me, for now. And to just see God just like it's almost like we're on the bottom side of the tapestry. It's almost like he let me peek on top of the tapestry to see the work, that is coming down the pike. So that was a big benefit for me from going through this whole process.
Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, we'll go with Pastor Phillips. The question is, Indigo, what was one of the benefits of this project and a challenge? So I'll let Pastor Phillips go, and then I'll let you go. Okay.
The benefit for me, like I said earlier, was therapy. Like I said, I think people forget that people in ministry and people that, represent God and they're preaching to, they forget that they're human. And, you know, I think you kind of get lost in title and position and the anointing. And a lot of times you come down and you're like, there's nothing left to do. And so as a wife and as a mother, I was trying to find balance after doing it for so many years, 20 something years. And I said, there has to be something more to me. And so writing, I got to see that, yeah, I am a writer. And that was the benefit. You know, I love to write, but I also see that it is an art to writing. It is a craft that needs to be developed. And so I thank God for the opportunity. It was prophesied that I would write books and manuals and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, I said, well, how can this thing be? You know, how is that going to happen? You know, who's going to publish it? And so, you know, I thank God that the Lord put time and purpose together for me. And so that was the benefit of just stepping out and just getting into a place where you just say yes to the purpose and the season for it. Because like I said, I heard Miss Donna say, I call you Miss Donna too, Miss Donna say, you know, that it was prophesied and it was said to her. Like I said, you know, that gift comes naturally. I have manuals and books and books and books that I wrote that I just never gave or published. And so, you know, after being prophesied, you think that it'll never happen. So that was one of the things that I struggled with, was doubt for myself, that say you can believe for everybody else, but can you believe it is going to happen for you? So that was the blessing and the challenge at the same time, because I'm like, who wants to read this? You know, so I kept rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. So just trying to catch up to, you know, the deadlines. But at the end of the day, it came together as the Lord would want it to come together. And it's just only the beginning. That's all I can say. It's the beginning of many great things.
I love it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Thank you so much for that, Miss Indigo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When I press unmute, it just, okay. Yeah. So you said one of the challenges and one of the
challenges and benefits of this project.
Okay, challenges and benefits. Okay. Yeah. So one of the challenges, one of my major challenges is time management. Being a spiritual being, you know, time ain't my friend all the time. You know, so just I mean, but God, like you know, also to being spiritual, being a daughter of God, knowing who your father is, knowing who your pops is, you know, it is a blessing. It does come with its perks, you know, because you know, like quiet as it's kept, I would have missed at least about 2-3 deadlines. I wouldn't have been in this book. Y'all wouldn't be talking to me. I would be talking about hot mess behind the scenes, always spiritual warfare. That's how I know it's always spiritual warfare, because God always got a back door. He always got a back door for you. You just gotta fight the good fight. Then you get tired, be like, Daddy, this is too much. Then he goes scoop you up. You know, you never had to do all that anyways. But you know, those that know. But yeah. So like one of the challenges was really just I'm a completer. I'm a finisher. I do struggle with procrastination and things of that nature, because I'm starting to realize that it is the difference between like the ego, what you want to do, what you say you're going to do, and then God's plan. So it is a fine little dance with that, you know, and then there's accountability. And then, you know, so sometimes you want to do stuff and for some reason there's a lot of friction. And then all of a sudden, you know, you pick up and you do it one day. And I've just learned to try not to beat myself up in the meantime, you know, because I mean, sometimes he's lining somebody or something else up, and you know, your heart might be wanting to do it, and then everything just lines up. So that's pretty much what I feel like it is. This project did show me, because a long time ago I did make a promise to myself. So you know, I have and had aspirations from a young child to be a published author. I didn't know any published authors necessarily in my circle or my family or anything. Same thing with entrepreneurship and things of that nature, you know, things I found myself in. I didn't necessarily see it around me or have it be, you know, demonstrated, you know, and stuff. Not in a traditional sense. That's why I say I don't have a traditional support system. like people could look at you and you become a self-made millionaire, and it's like, just also know the difference between me and a Kardashian, you know, like got it out the mud, had a loan, you know, that's like, I'm not taking nothing from nobody, don't want to give it away either, but just, you know, it's So yeah, we all have, the ability to grow and expand and elevate, but some of us start with different things, but God, So
That's right.
so yeah, the project just showed me once again just how much of a favorite daughter that I am. And again, I do want to just like shout out Miss Donna. She's the one that even told me about the project, brought me on, and we made that connection in parenting class. I swear he loves fools and babies, and I foolishly walk into things that work out for me. I'm gonna just say it on record because that's what people need to know. Like drop all the extra stuff. Let God do what He gonna do,
That's right.
and just try not to beat yourself up in the
That's
meantime
right.
because that's the worrying part is really the worst part. You just beating yourself up. When you could just
Mm-hmm.
go get some ice cream, go do something. You're not gonna do it. Like that's the thing. Procrastinate. You're not gonna do it right now. So just just try to find little ways to tweak it in the meantime, and know that God is in control. So that was one of the challenges, but also the blessing. Like nothing just ends.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so now we're going to share information if somebody is interested in contacting or connecting with you through whether it's social media or they want to contact you. We'll start with you, Ms. Donna. How can people contact you?
You can contact me by email, but if you really want to talk to me, just text me. Text me, tell me who you are so I can lock you in my phone and then I'll answer the phone. Because I'm one of those ones that I don't know that number, so I'm not going to answer it.
Me
But
too.
if you send me a little text, give me a little blurb, I'll lock you in and we can talk. I love to talk. I get my life out of being able to help someone else. My love language is acts of service. And
Mhm.
so if I can service you, if I can help you, if I can uplift you, God has blessed me to be able to be energized by that.
Mhm.
So if you're struggling with your teens, if you are dealing with issues with foster care, if you having some issues with mental health and you don't know which way to go and you're trying to figure out how you can get mental health, how your children can get mental health, I am not the end all to be all, but I know somebody who is. And if I can't help you, I can at least point you into that right
Mhm.
direction.
Awesome. And when is the book coming out again?
I'm going to let one of the other two ladies answer that because
I think it's this weekend, right?
yeah, I think so. I don't want to say the wrong thing,
Okay.
but I think so. Yeah.
All right. All right. Pastor Phillips, we'll go to you next. How can people contact you?
Yes, of course, Washi Inc. and RPM Ministries Fire at Gmail. And let me not say my phone number because I get a lot of phone calls. But yes, you can follow me on Instagram. I get a lot of DMs on Instagram. And also my website for my online boutique is She Amore Couture. And that's SheAmoreCouture.com. So She Amore Couture. And again, I'm just really excited to connect more with people, like Donna said, just to uplift and to share and to grow, in all platforms, not just in the church, but out the church. So if that's you and you need to connect with me, by all means, please DM me.
Awesome. Thank you. And Miss
And can I just say I didn't see the 7 on the end of my number. I don't know if it was just because it got cut off, but it's 3097, and I don't think the 7 appeared. Just in case someone else couldn't see the 7.
Oh, okay. Got you. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm glad you said that. All right. There we
There we go.
go. Okay. Awesome. So that is Miss Donna's information. All right. All right. And Miss Indigo. Oh, can she hear me?
She looks a little frozen.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we can come back to her. Wait till she unfreeze. While we're doing that, give us, we'll end with a word of encouragement. We'll start with you, Donna. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. Is she back?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. I think the word of encouragement that I would give is do not expect not to have antagonistic things in your life. They're going to come.
Mhm.
Really and truly, if everything was always good, we would float almost off into an oblivion. But when you have good and you have that antagonistic pull, that's what keeps us balanced. So look at those trials and tribulations and things that happen. Look at them as a balancing act, because you don't want to go too far one way. Because if everything was good all the time, we would really and truly lose our minds. We would forget about God, and we would trip and bust our lips, and it would probably be a final tripping. It wouldn't be I tripped, let me get back up. It would be a trip that would probably take us on out. So when those things come that seems like they are crashing you and that they are punching you right in your throat, just be like, okay, so he must be finna do something. Because if I'm going through this, there's got to be a balancing. So look for the balance. Look for the, okay, he's gonna right this ship. And when he writes it, we're going to keep moving. And I got this thing I say with all my girlfriends when we're dealing with something, if it's financial, especially if it's financial stuff, we're like, oh, I got this bill to pay. My car went out. I'm like, how much money you got? Not enough to do what I need to do. Then let's go to lunch. Let's just take that money. Let's go to lunch. So when stuff is out of my control, let's go to lunch. Where you want to go? Let's just go to lunch. And that just means, God, I'm giving it over to you. I'm going to go feed myself. That's going to make me happy.
There you go. Absolutely.
And I'm going to wait to see how you're going to work things out.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I love that.
I love it too.
that makes you feel a whole lot better when you go get something to eat, right?
Just go to lunch. Yes.
All right. So I wanted to go back to Pastor Phillips. This is your link, right? Your website?
Yes.
Okay.
There's some other things that I need to upload. So next week we'll have some summer things, some newer things, and we're adding a plus size line as well. So
yes.
Yeah.
Come on with plus.
Yes. Awesome.
I'm excited about that.
All right. So you want to end us with some words of encouragement?
You know, just again, knowing who you are. I think in this season, this is a season for women to know their own identity and understand who they really are. You know, we are threefold being, body, soul, and spirit. And a lot of times this season, you know, with Instagram and social media, everybody is so engrossed in how they look and they're dead and feeling depressed and anxiety and so much. But I just want to encourage somebody, get rid of the annoying thoughts. I say get rid of the rats, really annoying thoughts. Get rid of them and don't be a thermometer, but be a thermostat. Don't be in a place where you have to adapt to your environment, but you have the power to create because you are the one that adjusts the thermostat.
Yeah.
So this is the season to know who you are, know your identity, and really walk in the wealth and the riches that God has for you in this season, not just tangibly, but mentally and spiritually.
Awesome. Let me put she's having a little technical difficulty, but I wanted to put her information on there. This is Miss Indigo information as well, so you can take that down and connect with her as well. Ladies, anything else you want to share before we leave? Anything you have coming up? Did we cover everything?
I have a lot of things always coming up, but you know, now that the churches and different things are, you know, the outside, let me just put it that way, is opening up. Please just don't hesitate to follow me on Instagram. My handle is Pastor Rashida. You know, I'm just looking forward to collaboration and unity, you know, in the body of Christ and just with people with everything that's going on. So, you know, if anything is coming up with anybody, you know, by all means, let's connect because, you know, this book, let it be the beginning of great things.
I love it. Awesome. Anything else for you, Miss Donna?
Not that I can think of, because stuff pops up and then I'm like, okay, let's go do that. And so right now, we just came out of foster care awareness and child abuse awareness. So everybody's just kind of like, we got some time. We're not doing anything. So we're kind of like on the cool right now.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I was going to try to bring Miss Indigo back in. All right.
Is she there? There she is.
All right.
She's definitely one of my pride and joys.
She's a
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us, Indigo?
Hello, you Donna. Yeah, I'm I'm struggling per usual. So but it's a other side of thriving and everything. So my laptop died and everything. I had it charged, but I just decided to conk out. I'm on my phone, so I did want to just make sure that I did close out as properly as possible. So what are we?
Yes, ma'am.
Telling
Leave
people
us
how
with
to
a word.
follow up with us.
Leave us with a, yep, there you go. Leave us with a word of encouragement.
Okay, amen. So yeah, like and these just increasing through them and everything. I just want to just let people know that grace and adaptability and adaptable mindset is going to be your biggest weapons. I mean, not weapons, but biggest protection. Biggest what we see isn't necessarily the like approach or aspect of things or perspective than the other side. So it's like there's always all these other layers. Of course, we're living here, but why is this happening? Why do we have a global pestilence and disease? These are things that we can read about, but once they start hitting the real life and the real screen, then we all of a sudden start scattering, not knowing what to do. But that's where faith is supposed to kick in. So faith, grace, accountability.
Yep. So she said faith, grace, and accountability.
Acceptance, forgiveness, and everything. So those are just the things that I, that I talk about, and try to actualize in my own life and demonstrate.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on today and sharing. I'm so excited about what you all are doing in the community. Awesome. So definitely, you all that is listening, make sure you like and share this broadcast. And if you need to connect with any of these ladies, they are willing to connect with you. Let's continue to give God all the glory, put him first in all that we do. I am Deloris Williams with Divine Connections. Make sure you stay connected to the number one divine connector, which is Jesus Christ. So stay tuned. We're going to turn it over to our sponsors and we'll be right back. And again, thank you for my guests. And we look forward to the collaboration that's getting ready to come out. So hold tight and I'll be right back.
Hey, we've got exciting news from Divine Connections Marketing Services. Now you can create your own custom video commercial for your business or organization. It's time for you to win. Your product or service is someone's solution. So get the attention of your potential customers now. Choose from a 30 or 60-second commercial today. Just email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com and we can get started. Connect today and let's get started making your custom video commercial now. Divine Connections Magazine. Get major exposure for your business. Is someone looking for your service? Do you need networking? Are you a gospel artist or a ministry? Do you have a major event that you want to promote? Divine Connections Magazine has the solution for you. We can distribute to residents, businesses, churches, and online. Don't miss this opportunity to expand your marketing locally and around the world. Find out more about us at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Get your spot in the next issue of Divine Connections Magazine by emailing us for details at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. Follow us on Instagram at Divine Connections.
Let's get it started now.